Hello everybody, welcome back and welcome to your first module of EDU291. We are officially in Module 1, which is Selecting and Understanding Quality Children's Literature. You are in the right place because at the start of each module, I would like for you to start by listening to my introduction video. Each module is 2 weeks long with the exception of Module 3, which is 3 weeks long. There will usually be a video for each week of the module. Occasionally the module week will be light and I will be able to put both weeks in one. So getting started, the first thing you want to do after you watch the video is follow along on this introduction tab. Within each module at the start of every week, there will be a tab that gives you an overview of what you will be completing that week and also some helpful tips on what to be looking ahead for. So starting off this week in Module 1, we are going to be focusing on Introduction to Children's Literature. Your text for the week is Introduction to Children's Literature, and that is embedded in Canvas directly below this tab. I will walk you through in a moment. Our assignments this week are our first reading organizer for Introduction to Children's Literature. Reading organizers are always going to be due on Tuesday, so you can expect and plan for every Tuesday having a reading organizer due for the semester. You are also going to be completing your first personal learning activity, which is the Literacy Autobiography. Within the Literacy Autobiography assignment, there is a reading. It is called the Miller Book, Chapter 2, called Everybody is a Reader, and it is a PDF. So there is a quick link here on the tab, so we can just link out, take a look to the Literacy Autobiography. You can see that the reading is provided here, and you will be able to download a copy of the PDF and it will open up. Some computers might open up on a separate tab, mine downloaded. After you read the article, which is very insightful, you will then complete the Literacy Autobiography template. The Literacy Autobiography template looks like this, and it has two parts. Part A, after you have completed your reading on Chapter 2 of the Miller article, you will answer the questions. Based on the types of readers identified in Everybody is a Reader, what type of reader are you? Give examples to support your response. There are multiple examples of different readers within the article. Find the one that best reaches you and understand that you may have changed throughout your life, but what type of reader do you think you are now? Number 2, how has your identity as a reader changed over time? Use details and examples to support your response. If you don't think your identity has changed, why do you think that is? So oftentimes I'll have students say, I started off as a dormant reader, but that has since changed, and now I think that I might be an underground reader, and then explain why. If your journey has not changed and you have remained the same, explain that as well. But just go into detail about your reading journey. Typically, we do change over time. Sometimes we get more into reading as our life goes on, and other times we put reading aside and don't realize that we are not much of a reader these days. But that is not to say that you cannot regain your reading roots. Number 3, are you comfortable with who you are as a reader? Why or why not? Now, that's not necessarily are you comfortable with how quickly you can read or how fast you can absorb information. It's also just asking, how comfortable are you as a reader? Would you like to improve in your reading? Do you desire more out of your reading experience? Do you feel like you read enough? What is your reading experience like? And how comfortable are you with that? Once you've completed those questions, then you will answer Part B. To further explore your identity as a reader, you will identify 3 of the options below. So here are a few to choose from. Choose 3. First one, think back and then describe a reading memory that you have. Maybe it was a time that one of your parents read to you as a child. Maybe it was the first time you read Harry Potter, or the first time you really got into a book in school. Maybe one of those memories really means a lot to you. If that speaks to you, great. The next one is decide on a storybook character you can relate to, and then describe the character and why you relate to him. So if we're talking Harry Potter, maybe you can really relate to Harry himself. You would want to describe him in detail and explain that. And the next one is make a graph of the highs and lows of your reading experiences from early years till now, and include at least 5 experiences and your description within the graph. So it should flow nicely. There should be about 5. The next one, interview someone who knew you as a young reader. Might this be a parent or a grandparent or someone close to you that grew up with you or watched you grow, and can describe what you were like as a young reader. Were you inquisitive? Were you excited about reading? Did you not like reading at all? Was it just the worst for you? I'd love to see their examples. Now, you can do an interview face-to-face. You can do it over the phone. You can do it through text message, through email. You can also do it through video messaging, however that works for you. You will add your response choices here. Choose 3 out of this list. And then the last thing you have to do is include artifacts. Now this is where my students can get confused, but these artifacts correlate with your choices up here. So embed into the assignment 3 artifacts that explain your choices. So if you concluded a reading memory, have a picture of something that represents that memory. That could be artwork, it could be a digital image, it could be an actual photo or some sort of documentation of that time, some sort of artifact or image. Storybook character who you relate to. This should be a digital image, or if you are an artist, you want to draw a picture of the character. It could be a book cover, however you want that to look. An interview with someone that you knew as a child or who knew you as a child. It could be a picture of you and that person together. It could be a picture of you interviewing that person. If you did a video chat with that person, you could take a screenshot of you guys video chatting. Just sort of anything that you can do to show that interview experience. And then your high-low graph, you would just include your graph here, a picture in your PDF. My desire is that it is embedded within this Google document. If for some reason you're not able to embed, it's fine if you attach them as images into Canvas. Okay, what is due on Tuesday of this week is your reading organizer, and just to walk you through, I know I mentioned it at the start of this video, but the reading organizer is going to be basically the same format every single week. As I mentioned earlier, you do have a reading organizer due for the readings every Tuesday, pretty much of the semester, except for the tail end. We do have other assignments that are not reading organizers, but we do have 12 reading organizers. But they follow the same format. The first questions are: describe a concept and idea from the reading that reinforced or expanded something you already knew before engaging in the text. You may want to use the following sentence frame to structure your response. Before reading the text, I thought this. However, the text reinforced or expanded my knowledge by. This is a sentence starter. You don't have to use the sentence starter, but that is what I'm looking for. These will be the same questions for every reading organizer for each reading, so you will get very used to it. Next question: what do you think was most important, the most important concept or idea that was shared in the text? It should be something different than you wrote up here. You may want to use this frame to structure your response. Of all the ideas included in the text, I think the most important was blank because blank. Again, it should be different. And then lastly, there are multiple read its, try its, watch its within the readings each week. They're just embedded throughout. Choose one to really expand upon, and then identify what read it, try it, or watch it you saw, Explore the suggestions that they ask you to do. Usually it's linking out to outside links, doing additional exploration or additional extension learning. And then come back and describe your experience and learning from the chosen extension. Every single reading has at least one read it, try it, watch it experience. So do make sure that you, if you're thinking, oh, this one doesn't have it, they all do. So do a quick exploration to make sure that you find at least one that you want to do. Sometimes they're so much fun that we want to do all of them, and that's fine too. If you do more than one, you're more than welcome to report on that. Okay, so our reading organizers are always due Tuesday, and that is the same for this week. Okay, everybody, that brings us to the end of our week 1, module 1. I am going to post an additional video down below for selecting children's literature that will walk us through our second reading organizer and our reading commentary. Thanks for being here. I'll see you in the next video.